Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be telling you my birth story. I had a baby and it was such a crazy experience because my goal was to go unmedicated and I did that and it was crazy. To start off, I'm going to start just like a week before baby was born. I thought I was going into labor. I started having really strong contractions and stuff like that, and so I went in on like in the evening time and stuff like that, and they monitored me for about an hour and sent me home so they'd come back when they started picking up again because I kind of died down. Well, later that morning around 2 a.m. they started picking back up again, and I went in, they monitored me for an hour, they kind of died out, and then I didn't have any contractions and stuff like that till well, I didn't really have any contractions until I got kind of induced because they gave me Pitocin, but the morning before baby was born, I thought my water broke, and it did. I was like, okay, this is, I think this is my water, but I wasn't 100% sure because it was like just a little bit of amniotic fluid and stuff like that, and so I was like, okay. I called my mom, she came over, and stuff like that, and my niece actually drove me to the hospital and then came back with my kids until my mom got here because she lives an hour away. And so while I was there at the triage for labor and delivery, they checked they checked to see if my water broke. They also checked to see how dilated it was. It was only 2 centimeters, which wasn't surprising because that's what I was last time when I was there and stuff like that. And so it took them 2 times to do the amniotic fluid test to see if my water had actually broken, and they said it was like the faintest line, but like it was there kind of thing. So at that point they admitted me. I called my husband because he was at work and said, hey, it's time, we're getting admitted kind of thing. And so he came over and stuff like that, and at that point they started doing Pitocin just to kind of help me get going because I wasn't really having any contractions and stuff like that. And I know they have like a 24 to 48 hour window, whatever, since my water had broken and stuff, even though it was only a little bit. So they started me on Pitocin, and every 30 minutes they'd sit here and bump it up to and stuff like that. And so I was doing that for a while. I'll even possibly insert pictures or videos and stuff like that and throughout this whole thing, because I had an awesome photographer and she got pictures and videos and it was awesome. So kudos to her, I love her. So yeah, but eventually I feel like, well, I started going and stuff like that throughout the night. It was probably close to midnight when I was like, it doesn't seem like they were doing anything. It kind of seemed like I was going backwards, like contractions weren't getting strong. I just didn't feel very productive. And I know before this point they had mentioned, oh, we should just break your water and stuff like that. And I was like, let's hold off and stuff, because I think they wanted to do it like shortly after I started Pitocin and stuff like that. And so I was like, let's hold off for a little bit. I want to see if it'll like break on its own or if it'll, you know, progress more toward, you know, that kind of thing. And since I was doing this for probably close to 12 hours, I feel like with Pitocin, it just I don't know. Like I told my doctor, I was like, I feel like they're not getting strong anymore. Like I feel like I'm going backwards. And so I kind of had a consultation with him and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe we could like cut back on the Pitocin, break my water, see if that does anything and stuff like that. And so they cut back the Pitocin in half. At that point I was 16. units or whatever they are, and they normally only go to 20. Like, that's how, like, close I was to being, like, their max kind of thing. And so, I was like, let's just bring my water, see if that does anything. Because at that point, I still wasn't really dilating. I think I was only like a 3 or 4, and it just wasn't doing very much. And so, around like, I want to say it was like 1:30, 2 a.m., something like that, they came in and broke my water and stuff like that. And at that point, they also checked me, I believe, and I believe it was only like at a 5. So I was like laboring because the contractions started coming like consistently, like every minute kind of thing, with only like minimal breaks. And so I was doing that for about an hour, and kudos to my husband and my birth photographer. They were amazing. They helped me so much through these contractions and stuff. And so about an hour later, they were like, we're gonna check you, see if you're, you know, how dilated you are, kind of thing. And at that point, I couldn't really lay down on my back. Like, I was sitting up, just kind of like in, I guess you could say, like a chair position kind of thing on the bed and stuff. And I couldn't really lay back, or else it would like really, really hurt and stuff. So they could only lay me back so far. And since the contractions were so like back to back to back kind of thing, like they had to do the cervical check like really fast. At that point, the nurse said that I was 8, and I was like, oh sweet, like we're getting so close, this is doing stuff. And then she's like, I want to get a second nurse in here to check. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so at that point, the other nurse came in, and they actually were able to get me to lay fully on my back. And she checked me, and she's like, oh, you're actually only a 5. At this point, once they laid me back up, I just started crying. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I've been laid, at that point, I'd almost been up for 24 hours. Like, my body was just like done kind of thing. And so at this point, I asked for the epidural. I asked for it, but by the time the anesthesiologist got there, I was like, literally, like, they asked me to sit up so that they can give me the epidural, and my body started pushing. I was like, I'm pushing, like, this is, something's going on, like, I think baby's coming, like, different things. And so I know he gave me something, because he was like messing with my back as I was like sitting here telling him like, I'm pushing, like baby's coming, like I'm pushing. So I don't even know what exactly he did or anything like that. Supposedly he gave me some sort of medication, but I feel like I didn't get it in time, because literally after I said like the baby's coming, I'm pushing, like he hurried and finished whatever he was doing, and they flipped me over and stuff like that so I could start pushing. At this point it was like, okay, we're having another baby, like it's kind of hit me. And so we're pushing and stuff like that, and honestly I feel like he came out in like 2, maybe 3 pushes. I know at one point the baby got stuck and stuff like that, his shoulders got stuck, and so they asked me, like, stop, slow down, like kind of thing. And so they got baby out, and it was amazing, and I didn't tear, which was crazy, because I was like, this is ridiculous. And the last 2 births I had, I teared even like just a little bit and stuff like that. So like, I don't know, the whole experience, just looking back at it now, 5 weeks postpartum, it was just like an amazing experience. I would do it all over again, and if and when me and my husband have more kids, I'm planning to go unmedicated, because I don't know, I just felt like it was for me kind of thing, and stuff like that. So yeah, we have another baby boy, and it's awesome to see like how the kids are transitioning to being big brother, big sister kind of thing. and stuff like that. And it's awesome to see how baby's kind of transitioning. It feels like he's meant to be here and stuff like that. It just, the whole thing is amazing. Um, it was just crazy, the whole experience. I remember my birth photographer got some pictures of me. I probably won't put them on here, but of like after like the baby was laid on my chest and stuff like that, and I was just sitting there in like a state of shock, like for no joke, like 10-15 minutes, because it was like I actually did this. Because with my first birth, I really wanted to go unmedicated and I got stuck at 9 centimeters, and so I had to get epidural. And then with my second one, my second birth, I had to get an epidural again because of how things were progressing. It just almost seemed like I needed an emergency C-section almost. And so like to do it unmedicated for the first time was just like mind-blowing. Like I actually did this kind of thing. And the reason why I said the anesthesiologist did something like back there, because no joke, literally after I gave birth to my baby and the placenta came, like all of a sudden my legs were going numb. So I know he gave me something, but I feel like it didn't kick in until like after birth kind of thing. So yeah, the whole thing was just amazing. I recommend, if you do want to go unmedicated, that you really work on your mindset. I think that's what helps me like throughout this whole last pregnancy and stuff, to sit here and mentally prepare yourself, work on like your breathing techniques. I also recommend eating right. I know with my daughter's pregnancy, when I was pregnant with my daughter, like I didn't eat right, and I think that's kind of what led to me having preeclampsia and stuff like that around her birth and things like that. So I recommend eating right. I also recommend exercising. There's an amazing class that I go to. It's a stroller class with a bunch of other moms that have kids and stuff like that, and they even let pregnant moms and postpartum moms, like everyone, anything moms, like go to it, and it's amazing. I honestly can't wait to start back up. I'm so excited. But yeah, that is my birth story. It was amazing, it was awesome, and yeah, I can't wait to show you guys how our life is growing and changing and stuff like that, with baby being here. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.